All right, joining us from Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia, of course, is a battleground state. Is Cory Crowley, our Republican strategist. Hey, Cory, good to see you on this Wednesday.
Glad to be with you, Todd.
So, with all due respect, let me ask you this. Is it fair to say that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are held to a higher standard? It seems like Donald Trump can say all sorts of things. Joe Biden says something about a comedian and all of a sudden he's under fire for, calling all Trump supporters garbage. What's going on?
Well, I think it's more in how people have historically reacted, right? Donald Trump doesn't accept responsibility for most things that he says. He turns on you and makes you the boogeyman if you try to attack him. And so I think that people have just started to not bother anymore. It isn't because the standard's different. It's because it gets you nowhere. It just gets you into a shouting match with a man who's got a bigger megaphone than anyone. And in Joe Biden's case, he's got a great and long and illustrious career as a public servant, but he also has equally as long of a career of sticking his foot in his mouth. That's nothing new either. And so I don't think anybody should be surprised that he may have said something that he didn't mean, or that he bungled his words, because he's been doing that since the 1980s.
All right, let's talk about Kamala Harris's big speech in Washington. I know you watched it. What did you think?
Well, I thought it was a classic political closing argument speech. It really had a lot of memories for me of the Obama campaign and those final remarks that he was giving in Chicago, rallying big crowds outdoors. I think it served her very well. I mean, her message was clear. We need to stop pointing fingers. We need to start linking arms, a message of unity. At the same time, you have President Trump asking people, were you better off 4 years ago, and wouldn't you like to go back to that? She's reminding people that with that, maybe a better economy, maybe lower gas prices, comes chaos and comes criticism and comes the type of hate and division that also accompany Donald Trump, even with his policy successes.
His speech in Allentown in Pennsylvania, we talked a little bit about it, is a majority Latino town. Your thoughts on, whether he was able to clean up some of the mess from the Madison Square Garden rally on Sunday?
Well, these things just never stick with President Trump. He's said all kinds of disparaging things about people, ranging from the military to public servants to various economic groups or various indigenous groups around the United States. And it seems that those people still come out and support him in record numbers as compared to how they've supported Republican candidates in the past. So while he does offend a lot of people every time he opens his mouth, there is something about him that connects to all types of voters. And that's why you see him building this grassroots support still.
You are in Atlanta, Georgia. Georgia is a battleground state. Your sense on where things go? I mean, Joe Biden won it by a squeaker 4 years ago.
Yeah, my sense is Kamala Harris will pull out the squeaker win here as well. And don't forget, it wasn't just Joe Biden. There were two very hotly contested Senate races here, both of which were won by Democrats during the term of President Trump, the last go round. And so I think that Georgia, when asked, is it Trump or a Democrat, tends to slip Democrat. If it were Trump or a more traditional Republican, then maybe it's still a battleground state that's winnable for the Republicans to make it red. But I think it's blue in this election if I were betting.
Hey, I'm looking forward to talking to you again. We got 6 days to go, my friend. I know you're probably exhausted at this point.
Aren't we all?